Take it away.
What's up? Mr. Monopoly, I'm doing some Halo 2 speedruns. So today I'll be doing a kind of weird category. I'm going to be starting on co-op. And one of the things that's weird about co-op is you skip an introduction like auto-scroller. So we're just going to be getting right into it. There's a lot of glitches. I'll be explaining stuff as we go. But start the game in co-op, but it's going to finish in single player. This is the any % category for a speedrun. The timer's going to start as soon as the white screen happens here. Now. So to start the speedrun, I already kind of messed up, but we'll just go again. I'm going to betray my teammate here, and this is going to cause him to respawn around me. But if I stand on top of this little train, there's not enough room for my teammate to spawn. So then I restart the mission, and I do it again. I betray my teammate. You also note I'm using both controllers here. One of the controllers is often not doing very much, so it's not that challenging, but there are some points where I'm juggling a little. It's kind of fun. So after I activate that glitchy respawn, I will then clip through that wall using a box. If you run into that box over and over again, it will offset your hitbox, and that'll allow you to clip through some walls. And now I'm damaging myself with my own battle rifle to make another betrayal here a little quicker. I messed up a little, but... So I betray my teammate there, and this is now going to take effect of the glitchy respawn that we used at the start of the game. So by delaying my teammate's respawn, he's actually going to respawn inside of me as the same character. So now I just respawn next to myself, and that allowed me to clip through a door. So I'm already out of the first fighting section. We've already skipped like a couple minutes of introduction, a couple minutes of fighting. And now you see I'm only holding one controller here, but both players are currently moving. If I want to separate them, I need one of the players to die. I'm gonna do that next to this door. I didn't get it. This is one of the more inconsistent tricks here. But, so, I'm only holding one controller. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. But whenever you die, one player will flop out as a corpse, and the other player will spawn next to him. So I did it right this time. So now there's one more phase. It's not quite done. This is one of the least consistent tricks in the run. It'll come back to haunt us in like 20 minutes as well. So I did it there. That's really good. Sometimes that takes a few minutes. So what happened there was my teammate fell out as a corpse just laying on the ground. I'm looking for the shotgun. I actually can't see it. The lighting on this TV is different than what I'm used to, I swear. So my teammate spawns as a corpse instead of a Spartan, and that allows him to clip through walls with his ragdoll physics. But when he's a ragdoll, he can't walk. He's just stuck on the ground. So then I have to delete him by launching him back through the door that we came. That's actually the real challenge of this trick, is you can explore anywhere you want by turning into a corpse and just launching that anywhere. But then you have to be able to hit the triggers with both players to continue the level. So you have to manage your teammate. Even if you can launch him anywhere you want, he needs to be able to help you still too. So there'll be some times where I'm betraying my ally or using both to get him to where I need him. There's a few rooms in this game that check if you've hit the required trigger to activate the next section. So this elevator room in the next area is an example. You need both players in the room to continue the level. So what I'll do is I'll just stick my teammate as soon as he spawns, and then just keep on going. I also do not have the right guns for this. Oh no, what have I done? What have I done? I'm supposed to have a battle rifle right here. Oh gosh. I was supposed to manage these teammates better. I've forgotten the route. It's not that bad. But so normally both of these players one of the players would be dead and watching the respawn, and the other player would be activating this room. So we lost like 30 seconds here. That's fine. Now we've seen the importance of good teammate management. I'll do it again here better because I have the right weapons this time. So right here I'm looking backwards to try to manipulate this elite to fly into path. He didn't, unfortunately. So we're not off to a blazing Cairo, but we didn't get stuck at that one door too long, so it's not too bad. So this is another elevator that needs both players present. I'm going to jump in melee to prevent my teammate from spawning. If he spawns too early, I'll have to walk with the second controller. Once I'm in here, I can allow him to spawn one more time. So then I'm going to make him look at his feet because he's going to reduce some lag in this room. If both players are trying to fight all of these enemies, the FPS gets pretty bad on this old console. You can already tell that the FOV I'm playing on is pretty small. You can choose between horizontal or vertical split screen, and most people would prefer the wider FOV. But when I'm doing split screen glitch, I just tried to reach and hit a split like I beat the level, like I'm used to at home. But when I'm like looking with the controller in my left hand and my right hand, it's way easier with the left and right screen. So although I do sacrifice some FOV, I think it's better this way. I need that guy to not shoot. Okay, he didn't. So here's going to be another co-op trick. This is like the main reason we play co-op. This is one of the coolest tricks in the run coming up. This is the reason this is one of my favorite categories. So I did the same trick there as I did before where I betrayed my ally. And then I ran one guy into this hallway, which hits a trigger to spawn this next area. As long as my teammates didn't shoot any bullets, this trick's like so precise that even one bullet, one enemy spawned, one extra grenade will make it not work. But if everything lines up in the memory properly when you mess up the respawn here, you can actually choose which characters you respawn into. So instead of spawning as a Master Chief, I just spawned as a giant flying vehicle called the Phantom, which will allow me to fly over the rooftops here. Let's see if it'll let me spawn. Okay, there's my teammate. So I'll take a quick look at this guy. We'll slow down for a few seconds, take a gander at him. So that is me. So I'm actually not even piloting the Phantom. I literally am the Phantom, which is a distinction because the Phantom pilots have health and they can die, but the Phantom itself doesn't have an explosion animation. So normally being out of bounds on this map would kill you, being in this area that I'm on the right screen. But because I don't have an exploding animation, I can just fly through these out of bounds areas and not die. So now I'm skipping the entire beach section and then spawning my teammate in the tunnels there. So then my left screen here is going to hit a required load to now bring the Phantom back inbounds. Just a second. And now we get to race through the tunnels. Normally you would have a Warthog or a Ghost here, and it's a kind of quick drive, but it's a little faster when you can fly. Flying the Phantom's pretty challenging though. I have to do a lot of like drifting back and forth. The hitbox on it's huge, it's as big as it looks, and there's a lot of little things to bonk you. But this glitch was just found recently in the last like 5 years. So if you're a fan of Halo speedruns and you've never seen this before, you're probably not alone. This is one of the cooler glitches that's ever been found in this game, and there's a lot of cool ones. So it's cool to see new stuff still being found relatively recently. And there we go, we're out of outskirts. So this mission, the co-op guy doesn't actually do very much. I'm just mostly going to be on the left screen here, driving across the bridge. You can take control of some characters on this bridge, and you might think you could save time with it. But unfortunately, the flying characters get prevented from going to the next area, and anyone else just takes too long to take control of. So as I was talking about, the setups are really precise. Like one grenade, one bullet can make everything not work. So if like the Marines start shooting bullets or the Ghosts start doing it or the Wraiths, you have to keep track of every single thing on the map. And so it gets more and more complicated the harder like things you try to turn into. If it's a thing at the very start of the mission, it's generally considered easy, but like this far in already, it's really challenging to set up the memory the way you need. And because we're on an old console game, we actually can't even see the memory while we're manipulating it for this glitch. So you really need to be methodical with how you spawn in certain items. If we could just view the memory while we did it, we could line it up a little better. But this is a 20-year-old console game, turning 20 years this year. Hard to believe. So for this section, you're not supposed to bring a Warthog through, but they didn't do a great job of preventing you. Got to do a little bit of precise driving. It's actually way harder with the lag though. Split screen causes quite a bit of lag. I don't know how well it translates to stream, but man, with all of these bullets on the right screen right now, I cannot drive. Oof. All right, we're in, don't worry. We'll make it, we'll make it. We've done it. Let me look at the ground of this guy. So for this section, there's I don't know if trick's the right word, but there's a glitch that happens that causes the scarab to disappear. And if that happens, that soft locks your run. So hopefully we can avoid that. By driving through this area effectively, you have like 1 minute and 12 seconds to 1:20 seconds to clear this whole next section. If you go in that window that I just said, then the scarab will disappear and your run will die. So my goal is to make it through faster than 1:12 after I exited the tunnels back there. As long as I don't make any major mistakes, it's a pretty easy window to make. But if you make a few like movement mistakes, then you have to wait a lot more seconds until 1:20. So during an easy speed run, those seconds add up and matter a lot. So 4 shots and then 2 shots is usually about as good as you can do. So we've easily made the timer here. If you have this problem happening to you on your own speedruns at home, the secret is to either go faster or just wait up here at the top of the stairs. If you wait like right here on the stairs for like 8 seconds, it'll stop disappearing on you. I get that comment a lot from new runners asking why it happens to them. It's kind of the sign that you're doing speedruns for the first time, because the only way to make that window is to do speedrun strategies, but the only way to get the deload is to do them like slightly bad. So it's kind of a bad trick for new runners. And here we'll be getting on the scarab early. There's a few different methods. Oh, I'm on my... I have an audio cue, or a visual cue, that does not work on split screen. Oops. This is... yeah, that's fine. It actually only saves 5 seconds, or like 8 seconds, so I could still get on it, but I realized I made a mistake with my screens lineups. A little too late there. There's alternate methods to get on. I forgot to use one. But you actually get another cool cinematic way to board the scarab. So normally I would be on it right now, and I'd be dropping down the lower deck, and then spawning the enemies and killing it. But either way, you still have to wait for the enemies to spawn on this thing. So I've only lost like 8 seconds by doing it this way. And then, so these are the final pilots of the level. Once these guys die, the mission will end.
Vorsichtig, Chief. Diese Elite war ein Ultra und diese Piloten sind auch nicht von Pappe.
Reached for a timer again. I'm so used to doing this at home. Gotta know my splits, man. And now we're on to the Arbiter. So these are the first missions you play as the second character in this game. You're an alien now. Normally you play as Master Chief. Oh, that's not good. So there are some co-op tricks you could do on this level, but they don't actually save very much time compared to the solo strat, unfortunately. So the next level has some more co-op tricks in it, though. It's actually the hardest co-op trick in the run on the next level. So this is the first level on easy that we get a sword. Oh, come on. There we go. So the sword allows you to do a cool trick where you can swap the long-range reticle of like a sniper, and then you can put it on the sword. So normally the sword has a short-range lunge. If the reticle turns red, then you like dash at them. You can make the reticle turn red from much further away by swapping the long-range weapon onto it, which gives you some long-range dashes. It's pretty satisfying to hit them. This next trick on this part is my least favorite trick in the run, though. So, like the start of the run, I had to walk into a wall a bunch of times and then try to clip through a floor. I try it again here. I do get a checkpoint for it, so I can try it a few times, but gotta count. I actually can't see on this monitor. So I'm looking for... Oh, there's no way I can hit this with this lighting. I actually can't see. Can I get this left light turned off? Oh yeah, they've done it. Can I get that one off too? Let's go. Okay, I can see. Oh, I don't think I got it. Okay. Give this another try here. I'm running out of excuses now. Alright, I didn't get it. I'm gonna clear the room normally. It only saves like 45 seconds. I don't want to get stuck on it too long. So that trick is slightly random in the way that the game checks to kill you only like every few frames. It doesn't waste the memory resources to try to like make you die every single frame. And like I said earlier, when you're out of bounds, the game does try to kill you just to prevent you from going out of bounds. So basically, if you go through the floor there at the wrong frame, the game either kills you or it doesn't. And because the frame checks start once you start this level about 2 minutes ago, you can't realistically play frame perfectly for 2 minutes. So you're just at the mercy of the random frame checks when you clip through that floor sometimes. It's a little frustrating. It's like 15 minutes in on the speed run, so I'll be grinding runs all day, and I'll just get a handful of them that get that trick first try. Definitely my least favorite part of the current route. So what it would skip is killing all of these enemies. Did my allies get that? Okay, they did. Now some more sword shenanigans. So this is slightly different than the sword flying thing I was explaining. This is the short range lunge, but using it to conserve your momentum across the rooms. Get out of my way, box. Okay. This is where we would skip to, by the way. If I did that skip, we'd be like right here. So for these hallways, there's not a great place to get long range lunges, but you can keep some pretty good momentum if you lunge past the enemies. All right, give me the spawn. Did I not? I didn't get the spawn? Okay. Man, I want cool tricks. We got more sword lunges coming up, don't worry. Surely they'll be in position for this one. All right, it's in a good spot. I didn't get a great lunge, but we got a lunge. Now I'm gonna try to clip through this glass. This is frame perfect. I usually only get it like 10% of the time. Yeah, I never expect to get that, but that can save like 10 seconds. It's always fun to get it in a run. That door is 50-50. I just lost the 50-50 luck. I'm on a pretty extraordinary bad luck streak, I feel like. This is something to be studied here. Normally, like, you wait next to the faster door there to get through, and you would just be there when the door opens, but 50% of the time the wrong door opens, and you lose like 10 seconds walking across the room. All right. Now, here comes the last trick I will probably complain about during this run. This one is the least consistent for co-op speedruns. And you have to hit it. If you don't hit it, then you soft lock. We'll get it. Don't worry. I'm a little worried, but we're fine. So, starts out similarly. You gotta betray your teammate and then get to a position where there's not enough room to respawn him. I'm struggling. All right, there we go. So by putting my head against the ceiling here, then I betray my teammate. It doesn't allow him to respawn. I restart the level. Now I wait a second again to make sure the memory gets all loaded in. Betray my teammate again. And although that setup did look kind of slow, I was just standing around, it will skip a more than 3-minute auto-scroller coming up if I do it correctly. So it's definitely worth it. This skip is one of the holy grails for single-player speedrunning of this game. Is we really want to skip this room and the next room. We know the level will function properly if you do it, but we don't know how to skip it. We know co-op methods, but a solo method has eluded us for quite some time. So right here, I'm just waiting on the enemies to load in. I'm going to set up both these controllers to get some effective kills. I thought I got you. Whatever.
Einige Gebieter schicken die Propheten also, mich zu erledigen. Ich bin geschmeichelt.
Er verwendet eine Holodrohne. Er muss ganz nah sein. Komm raus, damit wir dich töten können.
Stellt euch auf.
Alright, so then popcorn will spawn in this room out of 8 different holes. It's random again. You just, on this low FOV and old console, the aiming's kind of challenging to get them as they spawn. But luckily, if I miss them as they come out, they congregate under me, so I can just use my second controller there to clean them up kind of quickly. Kind of a fun 2-controller management strategy. And one more wave, and then we will be through to attempt the trick. that everybody? We should be getting the checkpoint, right? I'm gonna wait on the... Normally during, like, world record attempts, I wouldn't wait on a checkpoint here because you're going for world record, but I need to try this multiple times for this if I mess it up. See if we can get it here.
Los, Gebieter. Wenn die
Checkpoint.
Verstärkung da ist, komme ich nach.
Checkpoint? Oh, come on. There's an enemy hidden somewhere. He's, like, on my radar, but I don't see him. I'm confused why I'm not getting this checkpoint. Are you in? No one spawns in there. What is going on? Am I blind? Are you guys seeing this enemy? All right, well, I guess I will try to first try it. No, I need this checkpoint. What the heck? I've never seen such a thing. We're about to skip this level if this doesn't work. I'll show what it looks like, but I'm not doing this whole section again. I don't know what's going on. Whatever, we'll just first try it. It's an easy trick, surely. Even the platforming's pretty challenging, and I haven't been nailing the platforming so far today. So you betray your teammate, and then you drop down these platforms pretty precisely. And I messed it up. All right, well, where is my... Okay, it's not all the way back at the start. I'm trying it again. We're falling behind schedule a little bit, but we're going again. I don't know why I didn't get that checkpoint. I thought we were going to have to do the whole thing again. I'm actually not sure. I think that flood ended up, like, inside the wall. There was one of these infection spores was either my nades were terrible or he was inside the wall. Normally, they don't even spawn there, though. They're not supposed to be there. All right. We'll get them all this time. So once all these are dead, you're supposed to get a checkpoint. Okay, we got it. Let's go. Let me make sure that worked. Okay, we're good. So I'll show the trick real quick. This is my teammate flopped as a corpse, and then I'm gonna have to launch him around. That's what we're gonna be doing in just a second. So first I betray him here because the way his body spawns after he dies is important. So there's kind of there's a whole little method to making all of this work. So first again, I need to drop down these little ledges and get where I'm going. Alright, then I need to... So if I spawn my teammate precise enough, and then I... Did I get it? I think I got him where... It's not quite done yet. Okay, so we skipped the whole elevator, which is great, but we still haven't finished the trick. We've got to do a phase 2. So theoretically that saved 3 minutes, but it also took us a couple minutes to get the checkpoint there. And now I need to... Okay, first I will make this guy die. So I can't continue the level because the scripts need both players to be present in this next section. So I need to make this body disappear. There's a couple ways to do it. One of them is to perfectly intersect it with another body so that they're like on top of each other. And the other way is to launch it. Oh, we did it. Let's go. Okay, that's great. So they intersected there with my grenade, and we probably we probably saved time overriding that elevator is my guess. We probably broke about even at least. So now that my teammate can spawn in this room, we are now able to beat this room. If my teammate was stuck as a corpse, we would not be able to spawn in the enemies here and nothing would progress. So that's the last major co-op trick. I guess there's one more actually that I'll be doing. But the next levels after this, I'll be switching to single player. So that's what makes this an any % run. It's kind of cool to do like half and half. Where is this last blood? Where are you? There. I need to look at a timer. 24:11, I guess was what I saw on the screen. So this room is a 1-minute timer. After I've killed a certain number of enemies, they will spawn infinitely for 1 minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group them up at the edge of this room where I'm going to go for the next area. And then I will wait for the minute to elapse and kill them all at the same time. Because otherwise you would kill, if you kill one, it respawns. You kill one, it respawns. So if you do it on a bad cycle, then you end up having to kill a few extra flood at the end. So we've got 25 more seconds here. I'll just be waiting around. I kind of want my right screen player to die. Okay, 8 more seconds. Alright, there's our 1 minute. Everyone went boom, and now this door should open. If I went, okay, no, we timed it right. If I went too early, I would have had to kill a few more flood. And we're in. For how bad the start went, it's not as bad as I thought. It's okay. So now we'll have a couple more sword flies coming up. There'll be a lot more sword action in the second half of the run. The sword flies are pretty cool. There's another long distance one. They're really fun to keep your momentum and cover huge like gaps and things. There's a lot of good gap jumps coming up on the next levels. Oh, I've only got 2 sword ammo. I need to not run out of that. You can't do the lunges if you run out of sword ammo. So this room's just got a few enemies you have to kill. It'll activate a cutscene, and then we can continue on with the last co-op trick of the run. Show yourself.
Krieger, zurück zur Landezone. Der Gebieter geht weiter nach oben, trennt die Station ab und scheucht die Ketzer aus dem Loch.
A little bit of grenade jumping here to get to the top of the room. So some of you guys may be familiar with the Master Chief Collection versions of these speedruns. They do an elevator launch here that will launch you to the top of this elevator shaft. That doesn't work on the original version. I'm playing not Master Chief Collection. This is being played on an Xbox 360. So those MCC... Oh, I used all my sword. I guess I will sword fly with this guy. Let me get this guy over here. So this is the last co-op trick I can do. Is it? Oh, it's actually not going to work, is it? It only saves like 10 seconds, but I want to try it. I need the sword. Okay, yeah, I've got time for it. Yeah, here we go. So if I can frame perfectly manage both these controllers and cut the cables at the exact same frame, then I can skip one section of dialogue here. Yo, we got it. Let's go. So normally you would cut one cable, wait for some dialogue, cut another cable, wait for some dialogue. And as you saw, the room just got glitchy there as it like resynced itself. Because it was still like sideways even though it activated the last set of dialogue. Now we escape the station. We've cut the cable and it's in free fall. We're trying to escape now. Can't escape the bad spawns. So this section's fun because sometimes you can just blow up and you do nothing wrong and you just blow up. There's debris that flies up through the section here. It's like a 10-second flying. Oh, I got hit, but I didn't die. Okay, that's close. So that debris that flies up, if it hits you just square on the Banshee, you just go boom. It's random whether or not where it spawns or whether or not it hits you or kills you. It's kind of crazy to be on a record pace run like 30 minutes in and just get bopped. Back to the start. Sometimes it's only like 8 or 9 seconds and you can continue, but it's really one of the most frustrating deaths in this game. Just to be flying in a straight line and explode. So these are actually the hallways that we came down earlier on the last mission. We got some better spawns this time than on the way down. I keep complaining about spawns. There's a lot of places in this game where the enemies can be in like slightly different locations and it like count, and there's a whole bunch of like just very minor random details about the enemies, like how they path, where they spawn and stuff. And some of the spawns are really good for getting like optimal sword cancels and good movement around corners, and some of them just block you. So sometimes you're just trying to do a good run and you're just getting unlucky. It's not as like RNG based as maybe I'm making it sound, but there's a huge variance. I just lost this guy. What just happened? Or I'm having a hard time seeing. I'm good though. All right, we have beat the heretic leader. That is one of the bosses. There's a couple left in the game, and now I will quickly save and quit and get to the single player section. Put that controller away. Oh, not legendary. I've been doing legendary runs. If you guys are tired of easy speed runs, which I know some people find to be a little less impressive because the enemies don't damage you as much, I also do legendary speed runs. I've been grinding to try to reclaim the record in that category recently. But easy is actually a really difficult speed run because all of those tiny variations matter so much more when like half seconds matter. So the movement has to be just so much more precise on easy compared to legendary. It's not to say legendary is like not incredibly hard, but easy speed runs are pretty impressive the more you learn about the movement and how much like minor variance there is and how you can control your character. So we started off there with a pretty cool rocket jump. Now we will be flying through this level. This is one of my favorite levels. The easy route and the legendary route are like completely different, but this is actually the only level in Halo 2 that the legendary speedrun is faster than the easy speedrun. You can obtain a sword at the start of this level on legendary and fly through this section, but no enemies spawn with swords on easy, so we're forced to walk. But it gives us some cool slide jumps. Alright, hopefully I don't need a checkpoint, but I kind of want a checkpoint right here. Give me one. Oh, it is not gonna give me one. Alright, we didn't need one. Oh, well, maybe we do. Okay. That guy tried to boost me off. He's dead for it. But we made it. Let's go. Alright. So that launch can be pretty troll if that Wraith either boosts you off or shoots a mortar at you and launches you off. But we made it through. Cool little launch. And now we will be zooming through the rest of the level in the Ghost. So there's a couple required triggers you have to beat on this level. The first one is here. We turn around on this ramp to activate the next area. And now I'm going to take the Ghost out of bounds because there's not any download that I need to hit again. The old games like this are cool, in my opinion, because you can just go out of bounds. They weren't so preoccupied with stopping you. So I just take this Ghost up a mountain. That whole meme of seeing the mountain and climbing it, I feel like you can actually do it on this level, which is pretty fun. A little bit of a tumble on the way in, and we've skipped one section. Now there's one more required trigger I have to hit, where I will drop the Ghost into the trigger and drive away. Nice. And then we will drop in and load the final area of the map. And that was a pretty good Delta Halo. It's a lot easier at higher frame rate and higher FOV. The split screen FOV is a challenge, I tell you. Alright, so I finished this level with the sword, which is very important because I will carry a sword over to the next mission. If you don't carry over weapons, then you can't do these next skips. Well, technically you can, but they lose a lot of time. Alright, I need to spawn in the middle. They're RNG. I think it's like 3/5 of the time I should get a good spawn here, or something like that. So it won't take too many reverts. We'll count to 3 out of 5, I guess. There we go. So this gondola is the one we're actually not supposed to be on. Normally we have to kill all those enemies I just spawned and then wait for that gondola to show up. But by getting the good spawns there and then using the sword, I can make it on here early. I guess I'll go for gondola launch. There's a difficult snipe I need to hit that can save like 30 seconds, but if I do hit it, we can do a cool launch. Phantom doesn't seem to have spawned in at a great time though. So this Phantom is carrying 2 hunters. Whenever you kill those hunters, it triggers this gondola to head towards where I should be over there. If I can time killing those 2 hunters at the exact right time that I trick the gondolas to go the opposite direction, I can do a cool glitch here. So let's see if I can hit it. I think I got the shot. You gonna talk? Say it. Say your line.
Cortana,
Okay, got the first part.
Ich will meine Position nicht verraten, deshalb lenke ich ein paar Nachzügler zu euch um.
Dieser See ist nicht durch vulkanische Aktivität entstanden. Das heißt, er wurde entweder absichtlich errichtet oder er stammt durch irgendeine Katastrophe.
Did I go early? I might have went early.
Wollen Sie jemanden umbringen?
Yeah, I went early. Unfortunate, and I got a checkpoint, so I can't keep going. So I did like 90% of the trick, but you guys didn't get to see the cool part. I don't know if you could see it, but the like gondola glitched out there for like just a couple frames. If I killed that last hunter just a couple frames later, or not hunter, that last elite, then the timing would have been better for that little wiggle, and it would have launched me to the tower over here. We've got another cool way to get to the tower though, so it's only like 30 seconds. I actually think this way looks cooler. This is one of my favorite sword flies in the game. So I crouch against this corner to line up, and then I use this turret to angle the fly, and it'll take me right to the balcony here. So by jumping up to this ledge before I kill those jackals, it prevents a wave of bug reinforcements from spawning. Just saving a few seconds there. I can do a cool grenade trick. This actually doesn't save time, but it looks cool. So you can actually get out of the elevator as it's triggered to go down. During that time, you can try to go grab some grenades, which I can maybe get. Oh, I missed them, but you don't need them on easy. It's kind of fun to mess around when you're in auto-scrollers. Halo 2, unfortunately, does have quite a few auto-scrollers, but they're kind of mixed throughout the run, so I feel like it doesn't really wear on me as a speedrunner. We get like a 1-minute break every like 10 minutes or whatever. We just hang out, read some chat, look for the fish. There's a nice ongoing joke that there's fish that will just show up and pass through the gondola that we're in right now. So you just go fish spotting. Sometimes they don't have collision physics, and they spawn randomly. So sometimes they'll just swim on through the little. Oh, there's one. Sometimes they'll just swim through the pod. We got a good one. All right, and we're out on the other side. More sword flying coming up. Oh, come on. Can't, oh, okay, there we go. The button combo to hit him is actually pretty precise. So I miss him more than I probably should, but I've got old man hands. I've been playing this game for too long. But you have to press Y, then X, then R. So you have to switch weapons with Y. And then after you've switched weapons, you have to press the X button, which cancels some animations. And then you have to, within a couple frames, lunge really quickly. And if you manage to do it right, then you'll see the result. But they're actually pretty challenging to time. It takes a lot of practice for people to even hit one. Once they kind of click, you can like dial in the timing and find a rhythm. But they really are quite hard to hit. One more underwater auto-scroller here. Got some more fish spotting to do. I see people warming up Halo 1 over there? What's going on over there?
Der Träger des Propheten des Bedauerns hat gerade eine Antwort aus High Charity erhalten. Eine gut verschlüsselte Nachricht des Propheten der Wahrheit. Hören Sie sich das an. Deine Hast hat die Erfüllung unserer Allianz gefährdet und unseren großen Plänen geschadet. Dass dir eine öffentliche
Kronos and Sloth, you guys aren't aware, there's a Halo 1 Legendary run coming up tomorrow. I think it's the last run of this GDQ PAX stuff. Don't forget to check out Sloth doing that. It'll be a cool run. I don't think you guys can see him on the stream, but off to my peripheral, I see him practicing. Alright, this next trick we call Mountain Cancel. It's another one that's pretty flashy to get. Let's hope... Oh, they're shooting. Please don't alert them. No. Maybe. Not quite. You can go over that mountain with a good Mountain Cancel. We got like a half Mountain Cancel, so we saved a little bit. But it looks cooler when you go over the whole mountain. This run has been a masterclass in me telling you what tricks would have looked cool. But like, I could go back and try them and like show the result, but then we're losing time. We just gotta keep on going. And I mean, sometimes the checkpoints are so brutal. I could have got like if I did get a better checkpoint there, I would have reverted and tried. But my checkpoint was back like 15 seconds, so it's just not worth it.
Da ist eine Art Barriere. Wir versuchen herumzukommen. Ich halte euch auf dem Laufenden.
Checkpoints in this game are kind of random. You get them at like specific sequence moments in the game, like if you've progressed to certain areas. But if your shields are low or an enemy projectile is in the air, then it'll delay checkpoints. If you're moving too quickly or jumping or certain other things, you'll delay checkpoints. So sometimes the enemies will just be shooting in a weird pattern and they'll prevent your checkpoints. That's even more of a problem on Legendary where you die like instantly when they shoot at you. So sometimes your checkpoints just make you lose like 30 or 40 seconds just because you got unlucky. Where normally a death would cost like 3 or 4 seconds, instead it costs 30 or 40. Alright, now we're on to fight the second boss of this game. We defeated the Heretic leader a couple missions ago. And now we will defeat the Covenant leader, the Prophet of Regret. But not before we do a couple more cool sword flies. And some jams. Wee. Nice.
Die Allianz hat mehrere Phantom-Geschwader gestartet. So viele kann ich nicht orten. Wir haben keine Zeit mehr.
Alright, we got him. So a fun fact, he actually drops a plasma pistol. This is his weapon that he's holding. You can kick him out of his chair and he'll shoot the plasma pistol at you, which is kind of fun to see. Now we're on to Sacred Icon. So this level is pretty movement heavy. It's maybe not got the flashiest of tricks, but it's actually become a pretty fun level to speedrun because of how precise you have to be on the movements. Doing small little launches like that to propel yourself through this hallway. We don't get a sword for the first like 5 minutes of this level, so we can't do any cool sword flies or sword cancels. But that makes your like normal, regular walking movement so much more important. So to get a good speedrun time, it's not just like about walking through the rooms. You have to walk through on like the straightest lines possible. So you're like walking through kind of like a robot, trying to like aim left at like, I call it like swimming with your aim, where you like flick left and forth, back and right to try to line up where you're going. the more you're touching the look stick, the less you're actually moving perfectly forward and you're like zigzagging back and forth across the map. All of those readjustments cost like frames, and those frames on a level like this add up to a lot of seconds. So you're really just trying to cut the corners and get the lines as clean as possible through all the level.
Sie haben die Energiequelle des Schiffs erreicht, Gebieter. Überlassen Sie Ihre Riegel. Keine Zwecke, den Einwasser von vorn anzugreifen, besonders wenn die Schilde oben sind.
You also move slower in this game when you're not moving forward. Backward speed is like, I don't know, it's like 15 or 20% slower or something, and sideways is slower as well. I don't know the exact number, but it's like obviously slower if you like do it in multiplayer or in campaign. Alright, I'm gonna go for a cool plasma grenade stick here. We're gonna hit it. I'm gonna throw it straight up in the air. It's gonna come down and land on my enemy. I don't always hit it, but it looks cool when I do. It's also dependent on the positioning of this enemy though. Sometimes he will spawn and list to the right, and that's bad. But if he stays in the center, I should be able to get it. No, he's doing the listing. It still might be able to get hit. I don't think I got it. No, barely missed in front of it. That's not where you're supposed to go, friend. We still got him in 2 cycles because the Phantom helped me out, so I didn't have to reload an extra time. That stick basically saves 1 reload. So now we're coming up on one of the most risky rooms in the entire game on easy. There's not a lot of places you can die to the enemies because they don't do very much damage to you on easy compared to legendary. But this room, the carriers do. They deal the exact same damage as legendary. So if you get blown up by these infection form carriers and they make you one shot where your shields are completely down, if a popcorn then attaches to you while you're one shot, you'll just die, even on easy. So this room is basically the same difficulty on easy and legendary, and it's pretty challenging. Fortunately, I made it through without getting shot, so it looked really easy, but I did a cool shotgun boost to do it. The shotgun boost that I did there, it's different than BXRing or sword canceling. The button combo for it is BAX and then R. So what you're doing is it's basically a normal BXR, but you're jumping in the middle of it. And a BXR in this game is where you lunge at an enemy, cancel the lunge, and then shoot. So normally that's a quick kill in multiplayer because you melee and then instant headshot them. But for this, we're actually trying to not hit the melee. We're pressing X early so that we don't connect with the damage and we can keep our momentum by killing the enemy and then going through their ragdoll. So I got a couple of them there. They're kind of challenging to hit, but they feel really nice when you do. I didn't get that one, but that's kind of some of the newer tech that we've added in the run in the last few years. We didn't used to do all that crazy hard stuff back when I first started. I started speedrunning this game in like the end of 2006, by the way. So quite a few years. I played this game's multiplayer when it was brand new, and I got like super into the glitches and I found them all interesting. So then I found my way to the speedruns. I haven't been doing it like since 2006. I've taken many long breaks, but I keep coming back. It's nice to be back on the GDQ stage. The last time I was in person at one of these was in 2014. I've done a couple of the online ones, but it's been a while for some in-person stuff. Now we finally have a sword, but there's only like 2 places left we can sword fly on the level. Another, okay, we did get a good spawn there. I was about to complain. So if you want more tales on the randomness of this easy speedrun, the ending of this level is the most annoying for randomness. because there's basically a 1 in 15 whether or not you get good spawns. Only one of the spawns is really good and saves like 20 seconds, and all the others suck. So for like a world record speedrun, you just pray you get 1 in 15 luck here, and then when you don't, you complain that the game's bad. Fortunately for like a GDQ run, it's not as important to save those 30 seconds, but I do still want my time save, and I will still complain that the game's bad, because we did get bad first spawns here. So as you saw, I just had to kill like a whole bunch of Flood for that first wave. It's possible to only have to kill one. And the difference is like, it's crazy, like the difference between having to kill one and having to kill like 10. Did I get a good spawn this one? No, I thought I did. They tricked me. So now that we've cleared the waves of Flood, Phantom comes in and we will be off of this mission. So those waves were like not the perfect spawns, but they were like about average. You can get even worse than that. So that was a fine Sacred Icon. That was pretty good. This level is one of the driving heavy levels. There's a few levels where you just basically use a vehicle through the whole mission. This is one of them. I like the driving levels. It puts some people off of this game because 2 of them are at the start of the run, which is kind of annoying. But the driving in this game's actually got a lot of nuance and fun to it. When you're driving the Ghost, if you hold the A button, the jump, it will raise the nose of the Ghost. And that'll allow you to turn tighter, and it'll also allow you to maintain momentum up slopes a little differently. So there's a whole lot of times during this where I'm tapping or holding the A button. It's not really obvious when you're watching it, but it's just very nuanced, and it's kind of fun to do when you like reach the high skill levels of cutting corners and like riding, just keeping full speed like up this slope. I didn't keep full speed. You can do it even better than that, but otherwise you would bonk if you didn't hold A at all. So you end up like saving just a lot of time riding up slopes and stuff. So there's a required load. I slowed down there on purpose. It might not have been apparent, but in that area you have to slow down or else you'll fly through a trigger and none of these enemies will spawn. If you skip everybody on this interior, then the ending won't work, so you do have to hit a few. There are some that you're allowed to skip, but there's just a couple that are forced. It's kind of weird that the game works that way, where some of them are just completely optional and some of them the game won't progress. A little bit of difficult ghost maneuvering here. Flipping's fine. Okay, get off my ghost. Get off my ghost. Oh no, it's becoming less fine. Oh gosh, what's happening? Alright, we've escaped. Sorta. I'm free. Alright, the last major troll of this level. I get out in camo on the ghost here because this warthog can slow you down and flip you similar to those guys just did to me. It's kind of funny when you're camouflaged, the enemies don't see you, even though I'm just driving by in my vehicle. If you get out in camo and then hop back in fast enough, they just completely ignore you. Oh gosh. And now we've got a 5-minute auto-scroller. So I could just start up the next level. Feel like I lost like 5 minutes worth of time missing tricks at the start. Or we could sit through 5 minutes of waiting. Actually, there's one thing I want to do before I start up the level, but I think I will just skip the second. You're not missing anything. I'll show you what goes on during the auto-scroller. We'll hang out with the elites, and I'm just going to start up the next level, save a little bit of time back. So I like to do what I call the Elite Derby, which is where I let these elites fight to the end. They will be fighting these Flood. The elites actually don't have AI. They don't ever fight back, so they always lose. But I like to take bets on who I think is going to win. So if the last man standing wins, we get the predictions in chat. We've got the dual wield guy, we've got the single wield guy, we've got the sword guy, and we've got the carbine guy. So they will all lose eventually, but one will be the last man standing, and he will be the champion. Get your votes in. The Flood are congregating for their attack. They're planning. Very formal rules of engagement. Oh, first strike's happening. Oh, down goes carbine guy. Sword guy's next target. Nope. I gave up on sword guy. Scared him away. This is a nail biter. Usually this goes faster. Usually there's more flood here. I like that it's just like, oh, I'm gonna bring more friends. I think that nade will convince them to come. You guys gonna come over here? Alright, sword guy's still taking some damage here. Trying to keep, oh, okay, now here comes some other guys. Down goes sword. Dual wield guy just being ignored. Maybe? I want to keep them both in view. Oh gosh, I can't. Oh wait, he died. Alright, dual wield guy won. Alright, I'm just gonna start up the next level. Nothing else happens for like 3 minutes there. You can wait above the gondola there. You wait for it's just moving through a huge open room, and you just wait for it to get to the end. Now we're on to Gravemind. So this level is one of the most skill intensive in the run on easy. There's a whole bunch of minor stuff that adds up to a lot of time on this level. There's combat, there's sword tricks, there's one major glitch in the middle that's pretty hard to hit. It's one of my favorite levels, but it's also one of the more frustrating ones, just because of how much stuff there is to do. To start, I am lining up in the very middle of this room, and it will trick the game into not spawning any enemies. So normally, it's tried just to like check where you are and then spawn enemies in accordance with that. But if you're like right in the middle, it doesn't. You're on both sides of the check, so it doesn't know what to do. So it just skips the whole wave. So that did work. We did get the enemy skip there. And now there's one more guy. Okay, I found him.
Setzen Sie mich
Out
auf
of the
einer der
first
Säulen
room.
daneben der Tür ab. Dieser Prophet, Wahrheit, er hat den Index, er darf ihn nicht behalten. Ich kümmere mich um diese Türen.
It's a hologram, they don't hurt.
Wahrheit wird einfacher aufzuspüren sein, wenn ich im Netz bleibe.
So there are some, similar to what I did with the shotgun cancels, there are melee cancels on this level, because I can't get a sword early. So I'll be trying to use the melee from the other weapons here to try to just propel myself forward slightly. It doesn't save huge chunks, but just a small time save here and there of getting some good ones can add up. The sniper here, that's for later. Alright, so coming up is Prison Skip, one of the most notorious reset points for doing runs on this game. I'm gonna go for a checkpoint because marathon safety strategies and whatnot. But normally in like world record runs, you just throw yourself at this trick and you kind of hope it works, which can be annoying. There's a good melee cancel. Just to follow it up with a nice block. Alright, if I should get a checkpoint if I kill out who's ever close to me here. Give me a checkpoint, or am I gonna have to kill everybody here? No, I'm gonna have to kill more. Now, will you give me a checkpoint? No? I don't wanna have to kill you. Oh god. They cheated! What? Did you guys see that? So that's actually pretty rare what just happened. Plasma grenades are supposed to instant kill enemies in this game for the most part. But I did stick him, but he put himself inside of the wall, so the plasma grenade explosion happened out of bounds, which caused it to not damage him. Wait, did I mess the... Oh no. They're already up top. How did this happen? Alright, I gotta lure a brute down here. The brute shot brute should come down here. Where is he? There he is. Okay, so once he's in position, we'll hopefully be able to... Oh, come on down. So this is the trick that I was saying that we're at the mercy of the game with. I should be able to bait a brute down here easier this time. Normally there would be brutes already standing here, but because that checkpoint took me so long to get, they're not here. So I have to do it slightly differently than normal. It should still work fine though. It'll take me maybe a couple tries though. It saves a couple minutes though. It's worth doing. Where did this brute... I hear him. Are you gonna come down here? Buddy? I hear him. Why are you not... What is going on? Okay, here he comes. Get in position. You can do it. I believe in you. Oh no, come on, buddy. He'll do it. Come on, buddy. No. He's supposed to come into the lift with me. Alright, let's see if I can convince these guys to maybe come down earlier. Okay, that seemed better. Normally these guys are supposed to already be down here. Okay, yeah, so this will be better. Do one more little jump. Do your little jump. Alright, this will work. I believe in it. Oh no. I'm feeling real glad about skipping those 3 minutes on quarantine zone right now. Have we done it? Okay, we've done it. So that probably didn't actually save time, but well, now we got to do the harder part of the trick, which is to mash and go up this lift. Okay, we did it. So you have to mash, melee, jump, and cancel the damage really quickly, and so you reverse the direction of that lift. The reason I needed the elite or the brute to come in with me is because I'm using him to fly upwards out of that lift with the trick we call butterflying. Stay there. Good. Alright, now here comes some of the funnest sword flying in the run. There's a lot of sword flying back to back here. I'm really struggling to see on these dark areas. There we go. That one's a good one. That's a really good one. Yeah, you love to see it. This one's pretty laggy, but it's also pretty cool if I can hit it. All of the enemies spawn in right here, and it... Okay, nice, we got it. It's hard to hit sword flies with high lag on this version because it like eats your inputs if it lags while you hit one. Another good fly. Let's go.
Gerade versammeln sich die Ratsmitglieder auf Halo, das Symbol sicher verwahrt zu sehen.
Nice cancel through that room. Alright, this section hasn't gone too bad. It's been pretty good through here.
Keine Sorge, ist alles ziemlich harmlos. Die haben nicht damit gerechnet, dass eine feindliche Intelligenz ihr Netzwerk von innen angreift.
So that saved about 1 second. I did a crouch trick there to exit the animation quicker of those tubes. You can get it even better than that. I'll try it on the next one. I was going for a sword fly there, but the enemies didn't spawn where I wanted them to. So if you time like 5 crouches pretty precisely at the... There we go, I got one. At the end of the lift there, you can maintain your momentum as you exit and just slide a little further. Another sword fly. So this one's another redirect fly where I'm going to aim at an enemy but bounce off of this wall to my right. And that should let me, if they will stand still. Oh, come on. There we go. So that ricocheted me just slightly to the left so I could land up here on this ledge. And normally when you lunge at an enemy, you'll lunge straight at them. So sometimes you have to like use the geometry to angle yourself where you need to go. Last little section right here. Get on the turret. Get on, thank you. And now we clear out some enemies in this room and we are on to the next level. In the story mode right now, the elites and brutes have started fighting, so this room, they're supposed to be like kind of preoccupied with each other. That's why I can just kind of walk in and backsmack them.
Ein Moment, ich empfange 2 weitere Transponder. Es sind der Commander und Johnson. Sie nähern sich
All
der
right.
Position des Propheten-Chiefs. Sie brauchen ihre Hilfe.
Not a bad clear.
Hier lang, Chief.
So you can die to that guy. A lot of top runners have done it. This guy's killed so many world record pace runs, even though he has no business doing it.
Wir sollten den Index holen und einen Weg
And he's running away now. He doesn't want to make a fool of me. Yeah, that's right. Short mission here. This mission's just got a bunch of sword fly and then some out of bounds. I'll shoot here to alert some enemies towards me. This should give me a checkpoint right here. Yeah. I shouldn't need it, but yeah, I don't. If you miss that, those brutes will be harder to fly off of, so the checkpoint's pretty helpful. Nice. Nice.
Elite-Widerstand, warnt die anderen.
Oh, I skipped the enemies. I canceled through that last room too quickly, which made me skip one of the triggers that would... Normally there'd be enemies in this room that I could also sword fly off of. Technically that loses a little time, but it's also kind of cool that you can skip the enemies. On Legendary, sometimes you want the enemy skip because it's safe, but on Easy, we need every spawn we can get to go fast. So I spawned in some enemies and then I shot a fuel rod there. That should distract a guy to come out right here. Nice. Good. And now I'm above the level. And that spot can be pretty inconsistent. I'm glad that worked. So now we're above the level. Normally we're supposed to take a ghost and like drive off way to the left here and do like a whole loop around and fall into a brute blockade and kill some wraiths. But the trigger to finish the level just exists like way up here, even though we're supposed to be down there. So if we crouch above the trigger, like right where it's at, the level will just end. It's kind of cool. And now here is the most difficult trick in the whole run. Let's hope I can hit this, because my hands are kind of sore. I've been playing a different video game all weekend, and my fingers are really sore. I know some of the guys out here know what game I was playing. So, right here I'm luring a flood out here to the outskirts of the map. If I get him on this little ledge, then he will lose his pathfinding AI, which will allow me to put him on top of my head, similar to that trick I did a few minutes ago where I had to get the guy on my head. But for this one, there's no floor or walls around me. So I have to just fly. Hold on. Ooh. I cannot. Can I get these lights off again? Sorry. Actually, I'm having a really hard time seeing. So I'm pressing melee, jump, and cancel the damage over and over again. And I'm using that to propel myself upwards and backwards. I can't actually see where I'm going. Oh, thank you. So I'm moving straight backwards, and similar to the last level, if I get to the end trigger where the level just would trigger it, the mission will just end. So you can't really see it because you can only look straight up at this guy and you can only move backwards while you go there. And you also can't see it because it's invisible. I guess that's a bigger factor, but it's just a invisible floating box that will end the level if you touch it. We haven't loaded the map around it. None of the coordinates for the normal stuff that's supposed to be there load, but the end trigger is just functioning that way. So we're about halfway there right now. I'm positioning myself above the trigger. I'm using the structure that's to my right to gauge where I'm at. Once I know I'm above it, I will start falling straight down. Good. Now we should be right above it. Should be in there. It might not look too hard when it works, but this trick is like hundreds of precise inputs in a row, and if you miss one, then he'll fall off your head and you die. There's no ground. Okay, yes, we got it. Let's go. And now we are on to the final mission. Looks like we're gonna be like right in line with our estimate. We're gonna be like 1 minute off. Feels bad. So this mission, it's got some precise ghost driving and short auto scroller, and then we fight the final boss. So I did a trick there where I threw a grenade at the same frame that I boarded, and normally whenever you board a wraith like that, you have to break off the hatch by meleeing it, and then you can deposit a grenade, and that will help you blow it up. But if you throw the grenade at the right time as you get on, you don't have to punch it at all, so it saves a few seconds for some instant kills there. Now this is the last major death of the run. I say that, but you can also die to the final fight. Okay, nice. Calculated that flip. There was a gap there. I don't know if you could tell. If I missed that gap jump, then I would have fallen in the pit and had to go back like 30 seconds. So now there is really only one major death left in the run, and that's the final boss. I've lost record pace runs to him before. I have the record for this category and the normal easy speedrun category for this. It's 109 is the full game single player record, and I spent like 60 days trying to grind that record, and a couple times during that grind, I died to the final boss like one hit away from finishing, and it was the most brutal thing. On easy, you shouldn't be able to die to the final boss, but he one-hits you and the nerves get you. I definitely choked a lot during that grind. Setting world records is stressful. Okay. And we didn't get the soft lock. Good. So now I'll go backwards here. I will despawn some wraiths, and then we will wait for the ending. So by hitting that trigger before the wraith drivers have a chance to spawn in, and then reloading them, the pilots for the Wraiths never come in, so you don't have to kill them. Normally, the Scarab here won't move until all 3 of these Wraith pilots are dead, so you can just get it moving a little easier by deloading them. These guys. Oh, I can spawn in the Heretic Banshee. That's fun. You guys know there's an Easter egg Banshee on this level? See if I can do it. So normally you're supposed to go through this area in a vehicle like I was, but if you go through on foot through that last couple triggers, it should spawn in like an Easter egg. So this normal Banshees are like blue, red, or purple. I don't know what color. I don't know what color that is. I'm colorblind. But you get these golden Banshees, the cool ones from Arbiter and Oracle. If they spawn in, they should. Are you down here? Yeah. Fancy Banshees. These don't actually do anything different. They're the exact same, but they look cool. Which is very important for a speedrun. This also looks cool. Yeah. So for this section, the reason I had time to just twiddle around and do stuff is I'm waiting on the Scarab to walk through this whole area. Once the Scarab gets here, it'll blow up the door and I can make it through to the last part. I do realize I just forgot a sniper though, which I do want, so glad I remembered to think. We got time. Got a sniper. Don't have time for a carbine, do I? Usually I like a carbine, but I don't need it. Man, we're gonna be like barely a 118. It would have been cool to get a 117. I made my estimate that because it's the nice Halo number. I think we're barely just gonna miss it. This wait seems so much longer when there's a crowd of people watching me. It's almost there. I just realized I never mentioned the language. It's in German because it's slightly faster, by the way. Like, he says some dialogue and it will, like, blow up this door. German overall is the fastest. And now we will bring the Banshee into the final fight by hitting this trigger. And then we try to get the shotgun here. There's a cool timing trick you can do by shooting to break your camo. The camo comes back after 10 seconds, and Tartarus will gain his vulnerability after 10 seconds. So I'm using a little camo timer to know exactly when I can shoot Tartarus. I like little tricks like that to like save it, like do exactly 10 seconds within the game. You don't need an external timer, but that is the end of the run. We got, as soon as the white screen, it'll be time. And we're done. We did it. Alright, well, thank you all for watching. I'm Mr. Monopoly. I stream a lot. I've been playing on my Twitch and on YouTube a lot for the last few months. I've been getting back into speedrunning, so it's been pretty fun. If you liked what you saw, give me a follow. Shout out to the other Halo runners that are here. There's Sloth and Brian and Nervy. And is Nervy here? I don't know. Kronos is here. Check out the rest of the schedule for PAX. There's a lot of cool content here. I can't even remember what's all on it, but still another day and a half of cool runs coming up. Shoutouts to Hark for helping me route a lot of the co-op stuff. The glitches at the start of the run were pretty complicated memory stuff that I don't even have time to explain all of it, but me and Hark spent like hundreds of hours researching and figuring it out, so it was cool to be able to like refine it to go from like a theoretical trick to a speedrun trick. We spent a lot of time on that. Shoutouts to him. Shoutouts to Nibre. Shoutouts to everyone else who helped with this route, came up with cool tricks and ideas.
Was
And
ist
that is
das?
it.
Was tut es?